I've kept this buried inside me for so long that it feels like it's been eating through my chest. Maybe letting it out will loosen the weight. Maybe you'll understand, or maybe you won't. But if you've ever loved someone so completely that losing them felt like sand slipping through your fingers, then maybe this will resonate somewhere deep. The night I walk away from her, it felt like something inside me cracked. Not a clean break, but a deep, jagged fault line stretching into darkness. I didn't know then how far that fracture would reach. I only knew that months later. I'd still be sitting alone, trying to sort through the rubble of life I once thought was unshakable. I told myself I was strong enough to walk away without falling apart. But truthfully, I was already breaking long before my hand touched the doorknob. I can still picture that living room. The threadbare rug we'd found in a thrift shop. The same rug we used to lie on, laughing, weaving plans, whispering promises we thought would outlast time. Then she said it. 5 quiet words that split everything wide open. Michael makes me feel alive. No shouting, no tears, just a calm, devastating verdict. Her eyes drifted away from mine as if I'd already ceased to exist. I didn't ask who he was. I didn't demand answers. The tears burned at the edges of my vision, but I refused to let them fall. Not in front of her. Not after that. All I managed to say was brittle and hollow. I hope he gives you what you're looking for. Even as I said it, I knew it wasn't true. Deep down, I was praying that what she thought she wanted wasn't real. That she'd remember I was the one who stayed. The one who kept showing up. But you can't hold on to someone who's already gone in every way that matters. Begging them to stay is just another form of dying. So I left. Not because I stopped loving her, but because I couldn't keep loving someone who'd already left me in her heart. The nights that followed were quiet, kind of brutal. Sleep deserted me. Food turned tasteless. I holed up in a cheap motel 40 minutes outside the city, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment I wished I could rewrite. My phone buzzed with calls and messages from friends and family, but I ignored them. Their pity felt like salt on open skin. Eventually, I found a small apartment. No ghosts, no memories. I picked up shifts at a hardware store. The owner, an old man with paint-stained hands, never asked about my past. Maybe he saw that I wasn't there for money. I just needed to keep my hands moving so my mind wouldn't unravel. Days blurred into weeks. I painted the walls. I adopted a rescue dog, Penny. She didn't fix me, but she gave me a reason to get up, someone waiting for me to come home. Over time, I realized I didn't miss Brooke. Not really. I missed a version of her I'd built in my head. The version that would never leave, never lie, never look elsewhere. But that person had never truly existed. 6 months later, breathing didn't feel like climbing a hill anymore. I started talking to people at work. Grabbed coffee with someone once. Even smiled, really smiled. It wasn't love, not yet, but it was movement. For the first time, Brooke's shadow wasn't sitting across from me at every meal. 9 months in, I felt steady. Not healed, not whole, but steady. I wasn't waiting for her apology or chasing closure. I'd made my own. Then one Thursday evening, she appeared. I had just come home from work. Sawdust still clinging to my shirt, grocery bags cutting into my fingers. I was turning my key in the lock when I heard it. My name. Michael. I froze. There she was, Brooke. Same face, but carved thinner. Her eyes swollen, a letter trembling in her hands. "I've been trying to find you," she said, her voice shaking. My heart pounded, but I stayed silent. She held out the envelope. Everything I never said. Everything I should have told you. I didn't take it. Not because I hated her, but because I'd finally learned not to let her choices define my worth anymore. Tears streaked her cheeks, and for a split second, the old version of me flickered. The man who would have invited her inside made tea, giving her one more chance. But that man was gone. The months of pain had burned him away. Between sobs, she confessed. She'd lied about Jason, thought she needed more. But it was nothing. He didn't want her, not really, just a thrill. And she'd thrown away the only good thing she'd ever had. "You were the only one who ever made me feel alive," she cried. For a heartbeat, I saw the woman I'd loved. But we were strangers now. You didn't destroy us, Brooke, I said quietly. You destroyed yourself. Her face crumpled. I'm sorry, she whispered. I nodded once. I hope you heal. But I'm not yours anymore. Her tears fell harder, but I didn't reach for her. That wasn't my place now. She turned and walked away, the same way I had almost a year ago. Inside, I set down the groceries and sank beside Penny. My chest ached, but not with longing. It ached because the final thread between us had snapped, and in the silence it left behind, there was peace. If someone tells you they found more beyond what you built together, let them go. Don't plead. Don't chase. Don't bargain for their return. Just walk away. Because the greatest thing you'll ever find isn't an answer. It isn't revenge. It's the freedom of no longer measuring your worth by someone who chose to leave.